Hey, this is Paul Carlson. We are experimenting with a new billing process within Deltek Ajera, and this Word document outlines the main bullet points. We're going to go through this, and we're going to jump over into Ajera. So the process we're coming up with is we're going to create a report that lists all of the open projects with WIP for a specific project manager. That some of the firms we work with, a project manager will have 100 open projects, and they only are working on 20 of them at the current period, that we don't want to create draft invoices for every open project. At the same time, we want the project manager to look at the list of everything that's open and make sure that all WIP is billed, and that if there's any projects with remaining budget and the project is done, that we want to get that billed and off the books as well. So send them a report. It's just the project name, available contract, and then WIP. Send that sheet to the project manager. They mark the projects that they want to see a draft invoice for. We jump into Ajera and we create a draft invoice within that system. And we send a note to the project manager saying the drafts are ready. And then the project manager logs into Ajera, and from there they can see the draft invoice and they can see the pre-bill detail. And from there they can leave a note in Ajera saying that they don't need a bill for this project and will just delete the draft. They can enter simple billing instructions directly from Ajera, or if it's more complex, they can print the pre-bill to PDF, make a note in Ajera and send that to us. And based on this input, we will create the final invoices. Let's go look and see what this looks like in Ajera. So within Ajera, we are looking at sample data. So we're going to look at this draft invoice for a complex developer. That we're at the stage where we sent the project manager the list of all projects. Project manager said, hey, I want to see the draft invoice for this project. So we're going to click preview. And here we have a preview of the invoice. So here we have what the final invoice would look like. And if we scroll through the pages, so here's page 2 of the invoice. And then here we've turned on to include pre-bill detail for draft invoices. And so here we have the pre-billing worksheet page 1, and here we have pre-billing worksheet page 2. That these sheets, so here we have Pat Hill has 8 hours of project management. So these sheets list the charges and details by phases. That the idea is to use these detail pages to provide instructions on what to bill for each phase. So let's go back to that front page. So we need to click the Show Review History button in this corner to turn on the ability to start making notes back and forth on the billing process within Ajera. So when the biller or accounting created the invoice, they moved the draft invoice into project manager review stage. And so this is where we can start to make notes. So if project manager looks at this draft and decides that we don't need a bill, and say no bill needed this month, and then set the stage to accounting review. And when we select this, that now Ajera knows that this project that the draft is no longer the responsibility of the project manager. It's now responsibility of accounting, and it would take it off the dashboard and send us a note over in accounting on what to do next. Let's hit cancel. So the other option is we could start adding notes. And as soon as you start to add some notes, you can see where this is not the greatest plan. So you could put notes in here like bill phase 1, for $5,600. And if it's going to get this complex, you'd have to say X amount of labor, Y amount, expenses. And so you're not going to do complex changes in here. So where this would work is you could say, bill as shown. And from there, we're just going to do this. And then from here, you can just change it again to accounting review, and this will push it over to accounting. So again, so this is like this middle stage where either we're just going to say bill what we have, or we're going to make some very simple changes to the billing. We could put those notes in here and keep everything within Ajera. The final option is say we need some fairly complicated changes to this. That my suggestion there would be to either push this out to a PDF or print it to a PDF, and then from here say, changes on pre-bill PDF, push this to accounting review, and so then push the pre-bill out of Ajera, make notes to it, or print a physical copy, make notes on it, and then scan it and send it into accounting. And so from there, the details would be made to the draft. If you want, you could try. If you want to put detailed instructions in here, if you click the 3 dots, you get the big note box where you can put some additional instructions. So we're going to say changes on pre-bill, and then we're going to hit save. And so at that point, we can close this window. And if we so here we have complex developer. When we refresh, that invoice is no longer listed in the review stage because the project manager has done their part, and it's now over to accounting to make their changes. I think this is probably the better place to work from. Some folks will work from the project command center. And so here you can turn on PM action and accounting action. And so basically anything that has a PM action indicates that there's a pre-bill for you to go in and open the invoice and preview the invoice and do the same process I just shown. All right, thanks. Bye-bye.